open up. And I will go silent for a little bit.
There we go. I think it's streaming now. And there we are, I think. Okay. So are we streaming?
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait. There we are. Okay, one moment.
All right.
But yes, we're streaming. I'm going to be checking the volumes.
Excellent. Volume should be okay, but you know how this goes. All right. So, welcome one and all. I guess this is the 17th live stream we've done. Ironically, we started doing these December of last year, if I remember. We've skipped one or two in that time, not many. Today we have a few new things to show, actually. One of the big things, of course, is the Quick Designer. I showed it briefly last time. Now it's actually working. There's also some progress on the multiplayer. The main tutorial. I don't know if it's really ready to be shown yet, but hopefully there'll be something there for tomorrow's release on Game Jolt.
I wrote the dialogue.
He did. He definitely did.
Volumes are good and about a 12-second delay, which is not bad.
Yeah. And for one reason or another, my system's still doing its crazy thing, saying, "Hey, you got new stuff in the system." No, you don't. So I was like, "Okay, that's nice." So you have that, and we'll see how this transpires. I also have a new surprise for people playing today.
I'm clenching.
You should be. Should I reveal the surprise, Matt, or just let them figure that one out the hard way?
I'm not sure I know what the surprise is.
Wow. Okay. I'll be the admiral this time. So server's up. It's a small alteration that I did to the War Master's way of thinking.
Oh, that, yeah.
Should I mention that to people or no? Or let them find out the hard way?
Yeah, it'll be more fun that way.
Does this mean I can't space Ernest anymore?
No, you still space Ernest.
You already couldn't do that.
Yes. And Ernest, thank you for joining us. I know you weren't sure if you were able to come today.
Yeah, I'm good for now. Unless something breaks.
They'll check it. Yeah, so I was trying out Star Wars Squadrons, but it keeps... I don't know if it's the new driver or what, but it keeps blue screening my machine. At least when I'm in the VR mode anyway.
That sucks.
Yeah, I get through like one mission, then the whole thing eats itself, and I gotta cycle the whole system because it's already in blue screen doing the core dump, if you know what I mean. So I don't know what's causing that.
I can't even remember what the last single player game I played was. I got real preoccupied last week with Battleground and all the multiplayer stuff we were doing.
Is there anybody else we're waiting for?
Backstabbing everyone. No, all 5 of us are here now.
All right. Start it up.
Paul did say he would be about 20, 4 o'clock, so about 20 minutes from now.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yep. So let me slow this down. Okay. So since everybody's watching me, what we're going to do is show, just so it's at the beginning of the video, the brand new ship designer. And so since Jordan, if you would just start our stuff, and I'll try to walk everybody else through what I'm going to do with the designer. So Right now, there's two ways of accessing it, either through the shipbuilder itself or the factory screen. If you go to the factory screen, it's this button in the upper right where it has all the designs. If you click that, it'll bring up a window called Quick Designer. The preferred way right now is going through the shipbuilder because for one reason or another, certain initialization isn't running right through the factory, at least if you didn't go through the shipbuilder first. So you go to the shipbuilder, click on the auto build subscreen, which is the bottom right of the inner circle, and then you can click on the quick designer, which is on the bottom left of the outer section, and the same window pops up. So when everybody's there, tell me. And so while everybody's waiting, what the idea here is supposed to be kind of a more typical 4X way of handling a ship design. So while my explaining will actually take a lot longer than if you just did it. So if you don't want to deal with adding parts individually, which is what these individual pieces let you do, because it shows you what's actually available, you can click on defaults. And by clicking defaults, it brings in something that you might see the auto builder do. So it brings in the best of all the different possibilities. So we have the Orion, beam weapon, shows you how much weight it takes, etc. The cockpit, the armor, etc. Now, to Adam's request, he wanted it so that originally when things were designed, you'd have one reactor, one and two of the different types of thrusters, if you know what I mean, one of each. And so if any of them got critically hit, you were stuck, meaning you were just disabled. So what this new AI will let you do, or this new builder will let you do, is if you say that you want more than one reactor or more than one thruster or whatever, it will spread the requirements across all of them. So you can have like 4 reactors if you wanted to, and still keep things balanced. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, say I wanted to increase the amount of guns I had. So I can click on Orion Mark 1 at the top there, and there is a number here as well as one of our little famous sliders, which is going to be changing, by the way, which I know a lot of people are happy about that one. And you can move this up, and as you can see, it increases the number that's here. All right, so now I just put 6 up there, for example. And you can see we're pretty big, pretty decent cost, etc. Now I haven't even dealt with the armor yet. I mean, some pretty nice armor. So if we come over here and click on armor, we get a slider up here. We can select how thick we want the armor to be. And you can see how quickly that number goes up or down depending how far we want to go with it. Now everything else adjusts. So my speed stays where it needs to be completely based on the fact of how big these other components are. So as we add more weapons, we need bigger reactors, which means adds more weight, which means we need bigger thrusters to maintain the thrusters. And so it's all very self-incestuous. So if you look at this, if you look at like the solar fuel reactor, it's actually pretty heavy. It's 329, 82 spaces, etc. That same thing with the thrusters and the engines. They're all pretty big now because now we actually have a fairly heavy fighter here. Now, literally, if you want to stay with that, you can just like hit save and you're done. But say, hey, I want to change what my hull looks like. I click on hull, and I have my listing of the different things that is possible. I can scroll through them. Let's go one of the more modern designs. Let's bring the capture thing. As I click on him. And you can do one of two things. You can hit apply, which means you can go and see what this thing ends up looking like. Or you can hit save, which means it'll outright save it to the set of designs. We can also do this for shielding, which I haven't actually tried yet, but I'm very interested to see what happens as this game progresses. Now, any of these other components we can manually add in and add more of, change the nature of things, whether they're heavy or turreted or anything else like that. So I'm just going to hit save for right now. And I'll close this. Now, technically, if I go into the factory screen, the design should be here, which it is. And I'm going to bring up this so I can see what the design looks like. And it's built for speed, and there you go. Has 6 guns, and it's all set, and all we need is a factory to start building it. Combat value 48,000. It's a big ship. And it doesn't even have uh, shields on it yet. I think it's probably partially that big because it actually has like real armor on it. That was the big problem that the auto designer was causing, was they were kind of nasty ships, but then they were easy to kill. These won't be. And especially once we get engines on it. Whoa! So I have my watch on. I just got a news message saying that Eddie Van Halen just passed at 65.
Oh,
That's my childhood right there.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. So, we are definitely waiting for what you're able to do for us there, Jordan. So,
almost done. Need another reactor so that I can turn the research centers back on. Which, I mean, you know, on a personal level, I've started to improve monitoring the assets, my ability to monitor the asset screen and ensure that I have power and things like that, and make this game work for me.
fair enough. I'm kind of curious what the
Currently, it looks like I could. Let's see. Right now, honestly, I can run everything. I have to turn off one research lab to
yeah.
maintain power.
Just
The
to
mines is
show
good.
people on the video, if I turn this research lab on, you can see that the actually the power isn't going down with it turned on.
They're not doing anything right now.
Ah, because they're not actually doing
Watch
anything.
this.
That makes sense. Yep, there they go. Now it's going down. All right, I'll turn off the first one again. Doink.
Okay.
And now it's going back up as far as the power goes. Matt, as an interesting thing, I can see Jordan's messages.
Really?
He's the mayor, and I can't turn them off. And do you have messages, Jordan? Yeah, you're the one that built all the city.
Well, there was one message that I couldn't get rid of.
Yeah.
Let me check all my messages.
Do his
Yeah,
messages appear? What if you close your
The one that
messages?
says research on tech mines, I can't get rid of that one.
If I close mine, yeah, his stuff is still there. So these messages are definitely to him, and he has under his thing saying that he's a mayor and he's got 23. And it's about research, because he initiated the research and the construction of things.
Okay.
So
I will investigate that.
Yep.
more power now. I'm gonna build one more reactor, and then I'm gonna build a factory. And I'm gonna build 2 factories, honestly, and you guys can start going to town.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Okay.
Just got the bird's eye view
Well,
of
let's
this
start
thing
up
anyway.
computers and power, I think, at 2. So that's gonna take us a little while.
What?
Is it starting computers and power 2? That's 5 minutes.
Ah, fair enough, fair enough. How's the enemy?
Yeah, Builderbot's really making Mickey Mouse shaped trails before going to actually do stuff.
Well,
Hey,
that's
Matt.
coming.
Hey Matt, I have a may or may not plug for you.
Okay.
When you're in the asset screen, for instance, let's put Adam's name all the way at the bottom so that the bottom of his channel lines up with the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
And you try to click on the asset adjustment, the bar does not stay up.
What do you mean the bar does not stay up?
For the
You can't adjust the chain link that
Oh, okay.
you move around goes away right away.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, the first factory is queued.
Oh, it's queued. Okay. Yeah, he's starting to build turrets over there. But looks like he's got a full set. He's got research.
I bet he doesn't have as much power as we do.
No, he's got two. He's got 2 reactors.
We have 3.
Oh well, fair enough. All right, since
Look, I ride the line first so we can get some early research done fast. After that, I'd try to keep us in pretty heavy power.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, they still don't have a factory up yet, which is why we're not inundated with anything yet.
Our factory's just about done.
Alright. So I did look up how to do a atmospheric effect, if you will. I don't know if I'm going to do that shader before or after, but I am working on the AI, meaning the replacement AI. But I knew it was going to take me.
My game has frozen.
So has
and
mine.
seems to be crashing. Alright, I'll
I
try
am
to...
not frozen at the moment.
Not responding. Great. So that happened when I tried to access the factory screen.
Really?
I wanted to build another builder bot to keep things moving. And I knew you guys went to, do the queues and stuff, and that's all. You need a log?
Probably not.
Okay, I also just froze on entering the asset screen.
On the asset
Give me-
screen.
the factory screen, I'm sorry.
Alright, I was able to get in, and I'm actually queuing up. Although the other thing's paused again.
Yeah, I paused just so I could see where the bug was.
Okay. Well, folks, that's why it's called a multiplayer test.
Yeah, let me know when I should join.
Can you write it down and exit there, Matt, or no?
Yes, I am out.
Okay, thank you. Alright, you can rejoin now.
Joining. Now, should I just try the factory screen again to see if that happens again?
Yes.
Okay.
I see the second factory is in the process of being built.
Actually, I'll queue this up on the factory too, why not?
And that's,
And the moment I click on the builder bot to try and drag it over, I freeze. And presumably I'm about to crash. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's the kind of crash where like I have to actually open Task Manager to get it to stop. Like,
I found an infinite loop when I looked at the error. I'm not sure why that would be happening. But I know where it is.
I don't know.
Okay.
See, this the weird things that happen to Matt too. I know I'm having problems with my mouse lately, where it double clicks randomly.
No, I don't think it's that. So the question is, why am I not having the problem on the server, but you guys are having it on the problem where you guys are at?
Alright, well, Arthur, would you mind queuing me up another builder bot?
I just did. It just came out.
Cool. Overcome and adapt.
Yep, no, you're not wrong. So, is anybody interested in doing their own design and see if they can do it? Is that no?
I'm still waiting to get back in. I don't know. Ernest, Adam.
I am not ready to do that yet.
Why?
I missed what you were. Well, I had to step away from the keyboard when you were
Then
introduced.
I will re-explain it because I think it's important that people use this new designer because that's the whole point of it. Alright.
I can
Yeah,
say,
go
having
ahead.
tested the quick designer, it is much easier to get a handle on than diving right into the shipbuilder.
Right.
I mean, I'll try it out in a little bit. I'm trying to make up for the time we just lost with me crashing.
Well, whoever's sitting above their base, they're sending ships to come get you.
That's probably me. Hold on a second.
But yeah, says I need to build up our base a little more, but then I definitely intend to try it tonight.
Bloody hell. So for whatever reason, it's glitching and whatever's chasing you doesn't register.
Are there ships coming toward us? I don't see them yet. Oh, there we go.
There is one coming out.
It probably has shields, and because it picked a, I bet it's unhittable now.
And I am disabled.
Yeah.
2.
Alright, so
I
pushed
forgot about
7.
that bug that if they select a ship that doesn't have the shielding in the stuff, they're unhittable. Yeah.
So what key do I push to get into the shipbuilder?
Well, hold on, let me kill this idiot. That worked. That's not good, though. They took out my reactor, so I'm dying now. Yep, my guns won't fire anymore, because I'm just gonna hit the ground. Yay! Okay, so since I'm gonna be hitting the ground very soon, what you do is you click on the Omni Ball to bring it up, and you click on the rightmost thing that looks like a ship. That's the shipbuilder. Alright? And it immediately goes into the big, huge, scary thing that is the,
Hold on 1 second. The menu's not responding to me right now.
okay.
All I'm doing is firing my weapons.
You need to click the,
I know. I'm getting there.
alright.
Okay, I think I got it up now.
Yeah. So I'm in the new ship, by the way. And since I'm there, I'm gonna crack out another ship because I'm gonna need it.
Yeah,
Put
crack
two in
out
the queue.
several, honestly.
Did we take up the other factory then?
I have my 2 builder bots.
Alright. Then I'll crank out. Well, I'll just put 2 in the queue and we'll get. Alright, something else crashed, I guess.
Yeah, sorry I crashed. I was just looking at the error real quick.
Factory screen again, or something else?
No, it was on game entry. It's looking for a file, and the path was junk.
Okay. Alright, so, Jordan, if you can, build some turrets, but yeah.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I got the shipbuilder open, and I got the yak blaster drug out.
Okay, well, let's not do that. Go to the shipbuilder, go to the auto builder subscreen, which is in the inner circle of the Omni Ball on the lower right. Do you see what I'm talking about?
It's open.
We have missile turrets.
Thank you, sir. Alright, go into the shipbuilder. The first screen you'll open up will see the ships and stuff like that, but the Omni Ball will be at the
Whoa,
bottom.
something just blew up next to me.
Yeah, I got the layout subscreen open.
Not the layout subscreen, the auto builder subscreen.
That's what I meant to say.
Well, so you have all these different sliders and stuff like that all over the place, right?
Yes,
Okay, so the Omni Ball's there, and the lower left of the Omni Ball is the Quick Designer. When you click that, a window should pop up.
it did.
Alright. Someone's shooting at me. So, what you can do to quickly make a ship, all you gotta do is click on Defaults, and it will put a whole big series of things in it. As a matter of fact, we actually have missiles now, because he must have researched it.
Oh yeah.
If you research shields, it would even give us shields at this point, but we don't have that yet. Huh?
Shields and capacitors are like the second thing I research. As
All
soon
right,
as I have all
click
my
on
buildings.
Defaults.
I guess I don't have it defaultly put in shielding in. That's a perfect opportunity to add that in and say that I want shields. Alright, so that doesn't help you anything. So you did defaults, and it should pre-populate with a minimal ship,
It
if
did.
you will. And
One
so
of my
all you
builder
need,
bots is dead. Oh nope. I think
Alright.
it lives.
as I was saying, all you need to do is you can change what it looks like, you can change what it looks like for going down to where it says hull in the lower right, and
I've
clicking.
frozen.
Yeah, I'm frozen again.
Oh,
Oh,
crashed the
okay,
screen.
I see.
Crashed this up.
And then you can then select the hull that you prefer. If you're going to put shields on it, it should be one of the modded ones, because else it's going to screw up. I'll do the ship silhouette. If you want more guns on it, you can then click on Orion Mark 1 at the top, in this case.
Okay.
and you can then scroll how many guns you want. Let's say, I'm going to say 5. You don't want to overdo it, or else you're going to get yourself some problems. If you're having trouble with the slider, for example, you can left click on the actual area down below where it will say, count of individual parts and items entries. You can click there and you can say how many you want. So I want 5 guns, let's say, and it will change it. So I just did that through the keyboard. Whatever number is you hit enter, it will then change the number.
It did.
Alright. So I currently have an absolutely obnoxious amount of armor on this thing, which I don't want to do. Because my cost is like
crashed and attempted to
1.3 million. The actual space of this fighter is just shy of 100,000. So what the hell was weighing so much?
Wait, I've crashed and attempt to join game.
Okay,
Yeah, I can't get back in either.
alright.
But I built a lot of missile turrets, so hopefully you guys will be relatively safe.
Well, the problem is that I think that whatever's causing the missiles was causing the problems that we're having. Can you try to rejoin and see what you get?
In a sec.
Alright. Alright, I am going to lower the amount of armor because this thing was getting far too obnoxiously huge. I realize it doesn't help you very much. Alright, let's start from scratch so we're not just being obnoxious about this. How's that? Alright? Ernest?
Okay. Good.
Because
I
I got
can't get in, or I'm sorry.
lost in other conversations and everything else like that, and that's not making this easy for anybody. Okay? So this clip defaults, it will clear that automatically. Alright?
Well, it didn't clear the weapon count. It's still at 6.
It should have. Did you click defaults?
Yes, I did.
Alright, that's not... Click defaults again.
I just did. It still sets 6 as the weapon count.
Alright, hit clear.
Oh, hold on. You know what? Hold on a second. Maybe it's just because. Let me click on the actual. Is there Orion, right? Orion MK.
Yeah?
Yeah, if I click on that, it resets the count. Okay, so when you click defaults, it doesn't clear the counter back to 0. It's left whatever. Because I just clicked on Orion.
It should, and when I do it over here, it does, and so I don't know what is happening with you, but alright.
All right. Let me set my number to 6 again,
Alright.
without selecting anything. All right, I got 16 set. When I hit defaults, it still says 16 in that little counter window.
The counter winner's not the issue. You need to look in the actual item list. That's just
I
an
know, that's what
arbitrary
I'm saying.
count.
I'm just telling you that you might want to have when you click defaults that it resets that counter back to 1.
Well, it reset the rest of it. I'll put it in the list as a
Yeah,
minor
it did
bug.
reset everything else because when I click on Orion
Yeah.
MK1, I only have 1.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. Is that when you click defaults, it completely redoes the item list. The counter list on the left is irrelevant because nothing's highlighted.
I know. I'm just saying you might want to have that set back to the initial setting, like 1.
Alright, that's fine. It's easily enough done. So you click on Orion. Right now it's at 1. We can put it up to no more than like 3 or 4 because it's going to get very big. 5 is pretty big already. It's like 800. Just keeping it as is. The other thing is we want to lower the armor because this is obnoxiously big. So where it says status is on the right, you want to click on armor. You should get a different...
Hold on a second. It went from 1 to 73, and I'm trying to reset the counter back to 3. And I crashed.
Yeah, I crashed too.
It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? I mean, I hear battle going on out there. So what's actually happening out there at this point?
I'm at desktop right now, so I'm coming back in.
Alright, well, something else just crashed to the point where it froze the system. Oh, no, I hit a breakpoint. I saw it. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
I crashed trying to join again just to double check.
Is it okay to join or should we wait?
Try to join.
Joining.
Personally, I think they're, with all the battle sounds you're hearing, basically they're nuking our base.
I think
I
our base might be nuking them.
Crash
Okay.
the desktop.
All I know is I left like 5 missile turrets behind. If you can mind, like, probably fully half of those, red dots you're seeing are our missiles.
Well, I'm watching it on our screen, so I'm watching the missiles coming from the turrets, hitting different things.
Yeah, I'm watching it on the Twitch stream. It looks like hell for them. I wouldn't fly into that.
Yeah. Try to rejoin and see if you can get in. I don't. Matt and I were testing some things yesterday. Maybe there's an issue with the missiles or something else like that that's causing the problem now.
And that is my 4th crash and attempt to rejoin.
Matt, are you even in the game?
I am not.
Could you try?
Okay.
Yeah, I keep crashing the desktop as well.
Well, I want to know why it's crashing the desktop, and you guys can't tell me, but Matt can.
Yeah, I'm getting basically one of two errors. Either it's trying to open a file with a garbage file path, or we're getting that crash due to a bad ship stat structure. I just got the bad file path crash again.
Alright, well, if you're in the bad file path, then I'll exit out of the game and see if I'm sending you something bad or what's going on with this, because at this point, no one's able to get in.
I love watching this on the Twitch screen and watching all those missiles flying around. I think our base might be fine, Arthur.
I doubt that it is, but,
I mean, none of our buildings blew up.
that's true. But it obviously shows that Matt and I had to sit down and track down whatever this particular thing is because it's making things unplayable. I thought it was at least good enough to check a few things, and it wasn't. So I'm looking at the log.
The last thing that I have in my log is an attempt to load a ship from file.
Now, my net log is about 100 megs long. There we go. So you're saying that the file pathing's bad.
That is one of the errors that I'm getting, yes.
Says, do you even have what the name of the ship was, or is this just the whole thing's garbage?
In the log, I have the name of the ship it was trying to load. If you want, I can open up that ship file and see if it's a good one. But in the crash that I got in the game, once was a long string of garbage characters, and once was a completely empty string.
Alright, we'll have to start from scratch and hope for the best. This is not going to go well, I already know that. So let's do what we came here to do, which is design the ships and get that out the door. How's that? As soon as they get missiles out, whatever, there's obviously a bug in it that's critical, and that's not great. So we get to have egg on our face yet again. Yay.
I will not research missiles this time.
That doesn't mean they won't, but yeah, I guess maybe that's the answer. Thank you, Jordan.
Let me know when to join.
Alright, I need to turn off the excess logging on my end real quick. I forgot to do that. That usually ends up slowing down my system like mad. Logging's fine, but when you have a lot of players, it is exponential. So we'll do a walkthrough of the ship designer, the quick designer, real quick, and Jordan, why don't you participate, and we can always reset the system if that's what we want to do, so that we can get a proper jump on things. Now, one of the things that I did want to mention is, if you noticed, the enemy ships are bigger than they were.
Little, yeah.
So the surprise was they were hard-coded to have no more than 50 spaceships. That's why they were so small all the time. Now they are allowed to make anything between 50 and 250. So
how'd that end up happening?
What, means changing that?
No, them being like that in the first place.
It was hard-coded, and I haven't touched it in an extremely long time.
Yeah, how did it end up being hard-coded like that?
Jordan, I don't know. It was like 15 years ago. I have no idea.
Huh.
Alright, server's up. Maybe it produced ships that were untenable when it was much bigger. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, like I said, probably just to make them smaller so it's easier to test. So they wouldn't basically make humongous ships that would never take forever to come out just to test AI or something.
Alright, Adam, we're waiting for you.
Yep.
The Omniball glitch I keep running into occasionally has just happened again, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, it looks like you're already set up in the thing. I'll just get us into the game. How's that?
Okay, that's fine.
How's that? Does that work for you?
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay. So go to the Omniball if you would. Open it up. Go to the Shipbuilder. Go to the Auto Builder subscreen, which is in the lower right in the inner circle. And you'll see a screen with a lot of rainbow colors with a lot of sliders all over the place. Alright? Is anybody not there?
Okay, now give me a second. Okay.
Now, it will be an easier way in via the factory screen, but this is where it is right now that I know it works. So again, anybody not there?
I'm building.
Alright, Jordan, I want to teach you this. Don't worry about building. Come in, please.
Okay. So go to Omniball and then go where?
Shipbuilder, and then you'll start on the whole screen. You want to go to the inner circle of icons in the lower right. It will say Auto Builder subscreen.
Auto Builder subscreen.
Okay.
Okay.
Click on that. And you'll see a bunch of sliders all over the place, which I know everybody's usually don't want to deal with. In the lower left of the Omniball, it'll say Quick Designer.
Yep.
Click on that, and it brings up a window. Is everybody at the window?
I am.
Is anybody not at the window? Okay. So, there's some granularity here, but we're going to do the most simplistic thing possible. All right? That way, we'll just be done. Go in the lower right where it says Defaults and just click it. And it should have pre-populated the item list in the upper left, correct?
It did for me.
Okay. So, if you want to change how many weapons you have, just click on where it says Orion Mark 1, which was one of the possible weapon systems. And there's a slider in the lower left, which you can move up to change how many items you have. Put it around like 5-ish. Alright? And if you hate the slider, you can always click on the actual number counter in the lower left and then type in the number if you want to. And then
just for issues, my slider is not responding when I move it. And then when I clicked in it, it went to 10. So I guess when I'm sliding it, it's just not updating in the window.
I think it's not updating in the window, unfortunately.
As another note, for typing in the number pad does not work. It just goes N every time you use a number.
Yeah, because it says number pad whatever. So yeah, I have to do a translation on that.
So that's just a note.
Yep. And And so everybody's got their number of beam weapons they want, right?
I do.
Okay. Anybody not?
Moment. Yep.
Okay. Now, obviously, you can make that obnoxious or not, but you see how this one goes. Go down to the lower right where it says hull. It already defaulted something in there, but you can click on that, and then you can change out what you want it to look like. It's probably better to go for one of the modern looking ships. We'll get rid of the older stuff at one point or another. I just picked the red ship. You can pick any of the other ones you want.
Okay.
Now, the only thing else you want to do is we want to change the amount of armor. Because
Why?
right now... Huh?
Why?
Because this is almost a 500 space ship, which the biggest we've ever made was like about 300. So this is going to be... It will actually run pretty quickly. Don't get me wrong. It will perform just like the other ones. It will just be like a dreadnought kind of thing, which maybe is what you want. But I want to show you something. If you go up there and click on armor, you end up with a slider saying select armor thickness.
What's weird is that I hit defaults like you did, but my numbers are not the same as yours from what I've seen in the Twitch chat.
It won't be, because it has a lot to do with what you randomly pick for the hull.
Okay.
Because it actually calculates the area, and then the armor thickness is actually what it is per square foot. So the area of each ship is different. So QPV will be different. So if I turn the slider up, it increases the armor. If I move it down, it decreases the amount of armor as well. Unfortunately, it has a little bit of issues that I have to deal with. But you can always type in what you want if you don't like how it's coming out. So I think anywhere around like 10,000 armor is probably pretty good.
All right. Something to make note of: if you hold the mouse button down and drag, my slider doesn't change. However, if I push it with the mouse, like click drag and let go, it does change.
So what should you do? If you hold down the mouse button and then move it, it doesn't change? Okay.
Yeah, I get
Sometimes
no
it's a little
response
weird. You have
at
to.
all.
I find that you just have to swing it a bit, and then it'll start moving, and then from there you can like move it and watch it change.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think I know. Okay, well that's actually very useful, Ernest, because I see what you're talking about. So it's already moving, and then you grab it while it's moving, and then you move your mouse back and forth. It's very responsive. But if you just click and then move, it doesn't do anything.
correct.
Huh. All right, that's interesting. All right, that's something for me to pursue. Now at least I know what that is. Because that was always plaguing me. It's like, what the hell's... And okay, now, okay, I get that. So, all right, but you can see how when you move the armor, how quickly your armor is changing, and how much space and weight is changing based on that. So typical fighter might have around 10,000 armor, but we're still trying to balance what this ends up being. This is going to be more helpful to Adam for his balancing stuff. But you can see how drastically the ship gets, as it gets heavier, how drastically the space goes up and everything else goes up because of everything else constantly readjusting just to maintain that speed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right. So I just did about 10,000 armor. Now at this point, we've selected the hull. We said we want X amount of, weapons, etc. You can change the speed by clicking on speed, for example. You get the same kind of slider. But at this point, you can just hit save. And it should actually be saved out into the system. So if you hit close now, and then you click the middle of the omniball to go all the way back outside, you go into the factory screen, I see a bunch of ship designs out there. As a matter of fact, if you click on the toggle detail mode, which is the upper right, it looks like a sheet, if you will, and then click on the individual details on the right, you can see the stats of your ship that you decide to build. Especially how much the damn thing costs, which is probably pretty penny.
What did you click on?
Which part?
The sheet. Oh, is it? Yeah, I don't see. I didn't understand which.
Did you click in the middle of the omniball to get back out to the main hull
Yeah,
screen?
I'm in the factory window right now. And I see
Okay. In the upper right, sort of with the right upper, I guess you would call it, where it's just like a sort of a square. It says,
Okay, the Omni Ball. Okay, I got it.
yeah. Matt, for whatever reason, with the Omni Ball, it has two sets of text that's overwriting itself, so you can't read it.
In the factory screen?
Yeah. It says struggle power mode or something, and it's not really readable. Because it's like two things are trying to display at the same time, and it's not. Actually, all these buttons are doing that. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah. So that's why I couldn't just say, hey, the one that says this, because I can't even read it.
It doesn't look like it's all the buttons.
No, it's like the upper four, I guess. Three. The rest of them are legible. Even though they should probably go the opposite direction for some of the ones on their left. But, that's neither here nor there. But, do you see it now, Ernest, for that matter?
Yep, I got it.
Alright, but now you can see everybody has successfully made their own ship. Congratulations.
This is definitely what we'll be teaching people in the tutorial.
Yes.
We'll have a separate tutorial for the rest of the shipbuilder, and that'll be fun to make too.
Oh, gods, who made Trogdor?
Me.
Combat value 467,000. What the hell is this thing?
I put on an extra power.
Yeah, so I can see. Space 1128. So now we can actually start making cap ship level stuff. Because you can see how quickly you can make this thing massive, especially with the shielding on it and stuff like that. You can just make something completely obnoxious.
Yeah, I decided I wanted one extra solar fuel cell. Other than that, I did everything else you told me to. 5 lasers, but I guess the lasers can fire forever now.
Well, it actually distributed the power across it, so you actually don't have an extra. You just have two, so one's redundant. Or I should say, one does half and the other one does the other half. So if one gets blown up, you still have power.
Well, then I don't really know why mine ended up with such a high power level.
Because your armor, I almost guarantee you, is absolutely obnoxiously high.
It is set to 10,000.
Yeah, higher armor means you're going to need basically like a large amount of thrusters to move all that weight around, which means you're going to need a lot of power to power them.
Yeah, something in here. See, here's the beauty of this. I can go into the shipbuilder because right now I can do such a thing, and I don't know which one's you. You're probably not Zero. I don't know which. Well, we'll find out the hard way.
Who was 0? How does it assign them typically?
Okay, it's whoever it's like as they came in.
I was the third one in after you. Because I
Alright.
you, then Matt, then me.
Space composite armor. You have 10,000 speed 294, so that's not it. That's mine actually. So let me do 4. This has got to be you, Trogdor. Yep. No, you did not do 10,000. You did 100,000 armor.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, extra 0 there. That's why this thing is heavy as all hell. Is you literally built like a Star Destroyer, or at least with, or you have a flying chunk of you have a flying brick of metal is what you got, which makes this thing probably like you can't kill it, and it's pretty quick.
What can I say? I certainly favor the one of the pre-generated companies I wrote.
Yeah, but also it makes it 23,000 to build it because it's just that heavy. So
What can I say? I really do need new glasses.
Yeah. All right. So my ship is like 5,700. Yours is 33,000 to build, and I guess the one that Ernest did was like 4,700. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how big of a difference they are. But that's the game balance. If you want to build a flying chunk of metal, go for it. It'll take forever to be produced, but that's okay. You know, that might be a legit strategy. You go in there something that just really can't be killed, and there you go. When I tried to add shielding at him, it got pretty big really quick. Meaning as far as size and weight goes. So if you actually expect anybody to use that kind of thing early on, you might want to rein that in. But again, it's just meant to be kind of nasty, so you're not necessarily wrong there either, Adam. So I don't know what the answer of that one is.
UI question in the factory window. If you click twice on the same ship, the menu goes away. You want that to happen or not?
Yeah, no, because you're unselecting it.
Okay, just wasn't sure if that was something that you'd want as a product or not.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, do people feel think it's a good idea for it to unselect, or think it's better for it not to do that?
I think it's better not to select because you might just have somebody to double click and like, or it just makes it easier when you click on it once. You're on
Okay.
it already.
All right, Matt, just note that down and just remove the make active. Just leave it as unique active, and that should do it for you.
I have a quick note.
Yeah.
Since the enemy's buzzing our base, I thought, oh, I'll try to talk to them. Currently T, and I did check my controls. T is still set to nearest enemy. It's only targeting the buildings in their base on the horizon, and nothing that's actually near to me.
Probably because it's glitching.
It's just a note.
No, I always guarantee you that the ships that they built. All right, mini fire dragons. Builder bot got like trashed.
Oh, I'm aware.
I'm sorry.
We are dead in the water.
Okay.
But that wasn't the point of this particular section.
Actually, no. There's nothing wrong. Do you know why it's only selecting? Because they don't have any ships.
They did.
All right. Well, that's why when you hit T, they can't find anything because there's no ships for it to target.
But Arthur, there was a ship in front of me shooting our builder bot, and I hit T, and I got a building on the horizon as my target.
Okay. Well, I can't validate it anymore because it's no longer in existence. It shouldn't have done that unless it was already terminally damaged.
Not that I'm aware of, but again, I couldn't get a target on it.
Okay. Well, I might as well finish off the builder bot's coming in anyway. Or I can just like respawn everything. You want to do that, or you want to do a full restart?
Whatever you'd prefer.
I'll hit R and see what happens. So the builder bot should be alive again, yes?
Okay.
That being said, I should be able to hit target, and there's the ship that you were talking about. So if you hit T, I found them. So we can go hunting.
Alright, I'm gonna try to actually get us running. As
reactor. Who's got a pulse? Oh, someone's got a pulse.
I do. I'm just parked behind you.
Oh, I'm seeing you shooting at him. I love how that lights him up. Very nice. Alright. So, yeah, at this point, when I'm hitting targeting, it's not, yeah, they'll have another gunship up. So, that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it was a freak glitch, I don't know. I'm looking forward to when we have the target what's in front of me button, because it was sometimes what it decides is your nearest, enemy can be weird. Or I also think it accounts for, the full 360 degrees, which can be your nearest enemy that you're not even aware of and not the guy you're trying to kill.
Right. It'll be the one behind you versus something else.
Right. So definitely looking forward to that. Hey, I want to kill this thing in front of me button.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I'm pretty sure Paul already cut it out, meaning the icon for it.
Yeah.
We just have to put it into the system. Matt, you and I are going to have to talk about what's appropriate. Meaning, there's already something in that when you hit O, for example, to select different things. The problem is that because it sometimes goes by what's closer, if the radiuses are different, you might run into certain problems. Although I guess with ships it won't be that much of a problem. Because usually ships versus buildings, the buildings are so huge that certain buildings have a tendency of overriding ships if they're in close proximity to each other. But for what you're trying to do for targeting, it probably won't matter that much. Looks like they have missile turrets. I'm watching missiles close on you.
Of course, as soon as we decide to not do missiles, that's when they build missile turrets.
Yep.
Not a moment earlier.
Whoop, crashed.
That's probably from me blowing up the damn the boxes on the ground. Are you able to get back in, or is it toast?
I literally just crashed. Give me one.
All
Yeah,
right.
Matt, we're going to have to spend a few days tracking this stuff down. We can't just allow this to continue.
Slight recurring but very minor problem,
Okay.
which is that I cannot, across 2 games now, delete the message informing me that research on Tech Mines 1 is complete. It's just that one message.
Really wants you to know.
It really
Like,
does.
last time it was also Tech Mines 1 is complete. That's it. Cannot delete that message.
Oh, you have no one for your list, Matt, I guess. Also, I found one of the remaining little greebles on the damn ground, which I'm not happy about. This way it goes.
Alright, I'm back in the game.
I don't know who it was, but they had 5 missiles. It probably was Adam just sitting there coming after him.
Yeah, I saw a lot of missiles coming from the enemy base, actually. Yeah, slow it down here. So, what did everybody think of the quick designer?
User entered your channel.
Something they could deal with?
Yeah,
I think it
works a
wouldn't
lot
have been
nicer.
impossible to figure it out if I had to. It's good to have the explanation, but this is like definitely much more like user friendly.
That's the point. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, it's a big improvement. I would like more things to be moved into that interface, like being able to basically like assign basically like full armor levels, actually being able to pick your hull, do all the other stuff.
You can. I just went through it.
Picking your hull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally just walked them through it. You
That
can choose your
definitely
armor, you can choose your speed, you can choose your shielding, you can choose your hull, you can choose a lot of things, actually. You can't choose your power ratio yet. That's simplistic. I'll do the simplistic version, and then we're going to do the more complicated version, but we talked about that before. But no, that's all there. They even used it. Seriously. Paul just says he's able to come in when we want him to. If someone can inform him of that, we could do a restart. Who also joined the? I heard someone join the TeamSpeak.
That was Paul, I think.
I'm on the TeamSpeak right now.
Aha! See, there you go then. So we wait until this gets into a terminal situation again, and then let them all in, or
no problem at all. I'll just stand by until needed.
yeah, fair enough. I also don't know when Ogre's coming because he said he was going to be late, so it might make sense for everybody to come at the same time. I just walked three people through the quick designer. I can always do it again. Do people at least that did use it understand? Like for example, when Jordan added 2 reactors because he thought it was going to give him more, it didn't actually give him more. It just spread the power out across 2 of them.
Why does it not give any more?
Because that's the whole point. The whole complete point was to do exactly what it did, which was not give you any more power, but to spread it out across many. The idea is so that if you take a hit on a reactor, it's not an all or nothing thing. It was already set up to default at a power ratio of 100%, which means you don't need more power anyway. That means it adds up everything that if everything's firing full tilt, all your weapons, all your thrusters, your shielding, everything, it adds it all up and says, I'm going to make a reactor and can power all of it 100% of the time. So you don't need extra power. It won't help you at all.
Gotcha.
You know, that's the problem with when you're talking about the cities, is that it gets imbalanced because you keep on adding items without adding power. That doesn't happen in this case. it designs it from the get-go with it. The only reason why yours was a monstrosity is because you put 100,000 armor on it, and that's really heavy. And so to keep the speed up, it had to make bigger thrusters, which means more power to power those bigger thrusters, which means a bigger reactor, which means more weight, which means bigger thrusters. And it's a very incestuous loop. Actually, what the game does is it loops itself 20 times before it gives up and says this is the numbers you're going to get. Because every tweak makes everything else increase in size because it has to constantly compensate. So it also means like it's more space, it's more weight, it's more everything else, and it keeps going. And what I found is there is a sort of a diminishing return. And the beauty of that is that after about 20 loops, the percentage difference is so low you don't even see it. And I declare that that's a victory, and then that's what you get. And it's a fast machine. It's not like you're adding a couple things together. It's not like, oh my god, why are you looping it 20 times? It's like you're adding what, 10 things together? Oh my god, it's like a modern machine can't handle that. So it sounds nasty, but it really isn't. And I don't know how other way to do it. I'm sure there's probably an equation that will let me do it, but yeah, I'm doing it the hard way.
You haven't fixed the missile no way bug yet, have you?
Somebody's being chased around by a pair of missiles, and the dude is just wrecking them.
Adam is, and I flew up next to Adam. And I picked up some of his missiles, and there's no life to them, but they just keep repeatedly hitting you over and over again.
But if you exit and come back and then they disappear, I guess that bug's still there. So yay.
I was trying to find Arthur so I could fly next to him and have these missiles collect on him.
He's trying to transfer something to you, Arthur.
Well, the funny is, I don't even see them. So from my aspect of it, they're...
Oh, crashed.
What were you doing?
Nothing.
I crashed also.
It's probably this... Well, when you come in, those missiles won't be there anymore. The location structure thing again?
Yeah, I would imagine that somebody or one of the missiles maybe crossed a location boundary.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's what's going on. If people can't get back in and tell me, then that's a thing. Oops, I had a drink. That's a problem. Matt, could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Make a note to turn off movement of the dead.
Okay.
That might be what's causing the problem.
I am back in and not being assaulted by missiles anymore.
Well, that's what I mean. I didn't see it. You're not. What's happening is you aren't getting the kill command for the missiles. It should. So when the server goes, hey, there's no more, there shouldn't be any more. You shouldn't see them.
However, I'm not at the spot I was at when I exited the game.
Okay. Which means what?
I am back. I'm over top of our base right now. I was not here when I crashed out.
Are you in a different ship by any chance?
I think I am.
If you're in a different ship, then that would do it.
How do I tell which the ship that I was in? What? How would I know if I'm in a different one? So.
It would look different on the top right display.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was flying. Oh, that's a problem.
Well, I can't help your faulty memory.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can say is that if you're way the hell out there, whatever you jump into, you now technically own. So if you see two ownerships of two different ships, there's your answer. Now, since you do actually have factories up, don't you, at this point? We can start cranking out.
There's one factory up. I'd like if he could toss me out a builder bot.
Alright, I'll toss you out the builder bot.
And the other factory, I told the bot to go build it.
Alright, you will have a builder bot up in 5 seconds. I want to build one of my own ships. Boink. She'll be out in 3 minutes.
Got a builder bot.
I don't even want to know how long it would take to build Trogdor's design. So I won't completely clog it up. If you get the other factory up, tell me, and then I'll put one of yours in the queue to see how obnoxiously long it takes to build yours.
Okay. It's queued up to go. So we'll see what happens.
And what was the key to switch ships when you get your new ship out?
P. Once you select it.
Well, H lets you select it, and P lets you possess it.
Gotcha.
And there's an incoming guy, actually. There's a couple incoming guys. So we've been incoming on the base, which probably should take care of that. If I can fly and not run into the freaking ground. Fortunately, the enemy AI while building the way it does its armor is really pathetic. It worked. Which I really should change. What else is new? There's one more ship, but he's still way back at their base. I see you incoming on there. So they were taking pot shots at you.
Yeah, they did.
So how many guns do they have?
A lot.
Like I said, they're not building weenie bots anymore.
I think that was 4, maybe 5.
Okay. I saw one when they came after me. They had like 12 or so. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Oh, it's well dead. Huh?
Bastard got me engine, but I got his reactor.
You guys are So you're shooting at me.
Second factory's done.
I see you down there. You're firing up. Ow! Is someone shooting at me? I'm not the enemy here, you know. Ow! 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 Ah, they got my engine. Bloody hell! All right, there goes me.
By the way, if you want to make more designs, we now have shields, capacitors, and Orion Mark IIs.
Ooh, bigger guns. I like the idea of that. So my first ship will be out in 30 seconds. Should we put on your obnoxious ship, or you say screw it?
I'm working on a third factory, so why not?
All right, I'm gonna drag your Trogdor out, and I'm gonna put on the first factory. 18 minutes. That do it. 18 minutes. Yeah, we're never gonna see that ship. Basically, he's complaining that I can't do it anyway because... Alright, so I freed it up because I can't build that. That's ridiculous. Alright, so I'm going to go into the design. And technically, the designer should work from the factory screen now since I was already in the other one.
It does.
So, I'm going to add shields to this. So I'll take this. I will click on the increase amount of items, and I'm going to go find myself a shield generator.
They're flying around our base. That's super like if somebody could stop that.
Yeah. You sure you actually made shields?
I'm pretty sure I researched shields.
Well, it's not in the list, so let me...
This is not the first time I've researched shields when you told me it's not on the list.
Alright, let me go check. Alright, Gilgamesh is the missiles.
Now that's weird because I accidentally researched missiles, but I did not actually research the missile component. So that we
You
wouldn't
did not
build
research
them.
the missile component. You're 100% right about that. Deflective shield Mark 1, so it is there, so why is it being stupid?
And crashed it up.
So did I.
Yes, I crashed another location.
Alright.
Bug.
You need a log?
No.
Okay.
I just...
I'm trying to get in the habit of asking.
No, you're not wrong. Okay, basically it comes up if I go into the shipbuilder. So basically it's not doing the tech check properly from the factory screen. That's why that's bugging out. So that's what it's doing. So I'm now putting... Oh my gods. Oh.
What have you got?
Well, I decided to add shields to my original design. And
Yeah.
now I have a 2.5 billion cost ship. And like 190,000 space. It's like, what the ever-loving F. because I have shields rated at like 1.2 million. It's sort of like, okay,
Oh.
that's
Why
I
is that the
crashed again.
default?
huh?
Well, I said, why is that the default?
Well, one's the default. I really should probably put it at 10th or something else like that, so it's nowhere near as obnoxious.
Attempting to rejoin.
Yeah, that, I gotta do something about this. You can't just keep doing this.
Crash on rejoin.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I crashed when I looked at the factory screen, and went to go look to see how my ship was doing, and it crashed.
Well, I don't think that's
Well,
what's causing the problem
at
right
least
now.
these are new bugs.
I think they're the old bugs just coming out in new and fun ways. So Adam, I have a question for you. Adam,
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Warning,
Okay.
crash your desktop.
All right. Well, there's nothing I can do at that point because I guess Paul can come in now. So I'm looking at the deflective shield, and
Game
it's what's that?
Hold on one second.
Paul, hold on, please.
Very well.
The deflective shield to do this is obnoxiously big. Do we want it to be obnoxiously big, or what's the idea? To put in perspective, a shield generation of like 5600 is
What's
weight.
What's the thickness though?
It's not very thick at all. Thickness is 0.15.
Okay. The general idea is basically that the armor and shield should be a rough parity. Basically, it's just different ways of doing it.
I appreciate that. I'll even put this at 0.15 just so we're on the same level. Alright, so I have it at 0.15 now. So now they're both at approximately 6,000, give or take, right? The armor's kind of heavy, but the shield generator is literally 600, which is like half the space of the entire ship. The space is 300, and the power requirement's 3,000. So the problem is that this thing is so huge, it's not practical to put on, because right now there's a 1,200 space ship just to have a 0.15, armament, meaning defensive. So we might want to yank that back if we actually want anybody with tier 1 or tier 0 ever using it.
Probably so. We have some stuff to discuss at the Thursday meetings.
Yeah. But now that the auto designer actually works, the quick designer, you can actually play with the numbers a lot more and see, oh, that's what that does. Oh my god. You really see the full result. Because I know you made a spreadsheet at one point to kind of try to balance it, but this is as live as it gets, if you know what I mean. So yeah. So we'll have to deal with that. So for those that even care, you can actually select the different things and click minus, and it'll remove it, and boom, there it goes. So it's kind of that easy. All right. One of these days, Matt, I think we need to sit there and go like another bug run, where you spend a week and just hunt down and kill bugs.
I'm totally okay with that.
So, in any case, so I'm sort of dead in the water right where I am, and I tried to jump possess something and it ate itself. Display HUD arcs. That is a weird one. So this is my HUD that it ate itself on. Probably because I have a shield generator. SHL energy is null? Oh, guys, I didn't do that, did I? Oh, Foobarb. I possessed one of our boxes. That's why I crashed.
Well, why'd you go and do that?
Because I have a button that like just quickly jumps me, and I didn't look, and I just hit the button, and it's like, oh, I'm jumped in. Why did it crash on the HUD? Because you just decided to possess a box. It's a grounded box. It doesn't even have an engine, so it doesn't have guns. It's just a box on the ground that the builder bot made.
At least it wasn't a box in, Mars Hell.
Might as well be. All right. Well, we wanted to reset it anyway. So yeah, that was the thing.
I think I'm good for one more reset, but then I got poor sleep last night and could use some rest.
Yeah, I mean it's already 5 o'clock almost. We've been at it for like an hour and a half, so I mean we don't want to overdo these things.
Yeah.
I wanted to introduce the quick designer, and I think I have. It's got a few minor niggles left in it, but nothing massive. It's nice to have something working for once, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it did work. I just can't read.
That's okay, but you would have looked at it and went, "Oh my God, what is this thing?" And that's okay. All right, so we're up. But now the game is finally letting you get to places where those that fear the tread will go, where you actually start making not these little itty bitty ships, these obnoxiously huge ships. You know what I mean?
Right.
The other ones I was making with the auto builder was just sort of accidental. This one's going, no, you're directing yourself to make something obnoxious. It's like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long is it going to take to make one ship? 20 minutes. That's an obnoxious ship. Yes, it is.
I very much look forward to when we have the ability to upgrade our buildings.
That's coming. From what I understand, Matt has actually built the building screen.
This is true.
So that's not that far away of a thing. All right, are we missing anybody?
Matt just hasn't hit ready yet, but
Okay.
we're right here. And we're good.
I gotta fix that. That's so stupid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Matt. Okay, so we're all ready.
Right.
All right.
Now you can teach Paul about the quick builder while I get us rolling.
Paul, do you need me to teach you about the quick builder or quick designer?
Probably.
Okay. All right, so I have to admit I like the new pulses. They really just have a different flavoring to it.
Good
Yeah.
enough.
So that's a good thing. Okay, so Paul, if you would open up the Omni Ball on the right,
Okay.
you will find the Shipbuilder in the rightmost lower a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks like a ship. Click on that. Now this will be accessible from the factory screen, but there's a glitch, so it only really works from here for right now.
Mm-hmm.
You then click on the Auto Builder screen, which is on the inner series, the inner circle of icons, lower right.
Right. It's that like a square with the ship and the protractor and then the robot arm.
Right. You made all these icons, so there you go.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
So now we're on the Auto Builder screen, and in the lower left you will find the Quick Designer button.
See it.
So click on that, and a window should pop up.
Ah.
You should recognize this.
I do.
So if you move your mouse around, you can see that you use that info box that you made.
Oh, yes. Oh, that is so nice to see. Holy crap.
You know, I don't have everything tagged with tooltips. I ran out of time, but you get the idea where I'm trying to go with it, though.
It's so nice to see it in action.
Yes, that's definitely the idea. So, in the lower right, and these buttons need to be upgraded to the new design type, but you know what that's about.
Yes, yes.
You know, click on defaults. It's usually the quickest way to do this.
Nice.
And what it does is it creates a immediately viable ship. It's got one gun. It defaults to different things, but that's what it's got. Okay. So if you want to change it from one gun, you can go up to where it says Orion Mark 1, which is your weaponry, right? So you left click on that,
Did so.
and it'll show you the details of that weapon.
Right.
Now, if you want to switch it out, you can see all that parts icons. You can switch it out to anything else you want it to be. Right now, we're just going to leave it for right now. In the lower left, there is a slider. You can move it up and probably go around about between 4 and 6 weapons.
Oh, okay.
If you do not like what is there and the slider is being a pain in your butt, you can actually click on the actual box that's above it. Click on that once, and then you can use the backspace and then like hit 5, for example, and enter, and it will be 5. You put
Okay.
you can put 50 you want to be obnoxious, but that's neither there.
Keyboard, not number pad.
Yes, keyboard, not number pad. I've already gotten flack from Jordan from that one.
Okay.
But you're not wrong. There's an overhaul I want to do to that so that it'll actually do shift and everything else. It's still acting as a gamer keyboard versus a normal keyboard.
Hmm.
But now you have this thing. In my case, it's 272 with the Jaguar ship, etc. Yours will be different. What you want to do is you want to click on the hull in the lower right
Oh, okay.
in the status list. I really have to have it highlighted when you move your mouse over it on this list. It's not there yet. It's just a flag. But you click on the hull, and it will give you a listing of all the different ships you got.
Oh, nice. I see it.
So you can scroll through them and find the more modern looking ones rather than the older ones for obvious reasons. As we get more ships, so there'll be a day that we'll just turn off the old ships because we'll have enough. If you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. Let me get Kathleen's ship, the red.
Yep. No problem. It's right there.
Okay. Selected that one.
Yep. The hull should have changed the name out. Eventually, I'm going to have
It
the
did.
outright ship be there rather than just the name.
Hmm.
You know, actually, the name will go away because no one cares about what the name is. Now, the remaining thing that you might want to play with is the armor that's on it. Right now, I have it around 7,400, which is a good amount.
Hmm.
If you want it more or less, you can click on armor, and the slider will come up.
I see it.
And you can move that back and forth. It's best to throw it.
Ah, I see.
But like before, you can actually click on the area below and actually type in the number if you want to. Generally, you want to keep it around between 8 and 10,000 armor. You can see how, as it moves things, how the armor changes.
Yeah, I see it now doing that.
Yeah. So, now, what's interesting is as you get heavier, which is really the only thing you're changing, is as you get heavier, the amount of space your ship takes up keeps changing. And the weight keeps changing for obvious reasons, because the engines in the reactor are constantly compensating for the extra weight.
Hmm.
As a general rule, you want to keep it below 300, or you can go obnoxious and go really big. The system doesn't care anymore.
Right.
Case in point,
I missed a 0.
he had 100,000 armor, and wow. So when he went to go build it, it was like 33,000 RMs to build it, and it would take 18 minutes to build.
Yikes.
So it's like, yes. So I need to start putting in the limitations that Adam asked me to put in for the different max space size, if you know what I mean. So like fighters might have a max space of, was it 200, 300, something like that, Adam, or was it that?
Yeah, about basically like 250 for
Okay.
the fighter hull.
So if you start the game T0 and the max space is 200 or 250 rather, then that's as big as you can get, which isn't that big of a ship, but that's the idea. You research bigger ships that let you go that far. I haven't put those kind of lockdowns in the design yet, but you see where this can go easily enough, right?
Right.
So all those parts up there, we can switch out the Orion Mark 1 for Orion Mark 2, or Gilgameshes, which are missile launchers, or pulse weapons, which are some autocannon and whatever. The point is, you can change your speed. All you need to do is click on it. You can change your shielding, which right now I think they're a little big for what they are. I want to have it so you can actually manually type in the name, but right now you can't do that. You can change the role, etc. But you just built a ship. All you have to do is click the save button, and it will appear in the factory screen.
All right, then I'm going to click save.
Can we
just
switch
saved
weapons
it.
yet, Arthur? We just stuck with the initial Orion Mark One that it shows up.
Oh, you can switch weapons anytime.
Because I clicked on the pulse and I hit the plus button, but it doesn't do anything.
Hasn't
All right,
reached
that's
the
not how
point
that
yet.
works.
Okay.
All right. What you do is you click on the Orion because you're replacing the weapons,
Uh-huh.
and then you click on the pulse icon to show all the pulses you have.
Yeah, but it doesn't show up with anything on my screen.
We
Well,
don't have any yet.
because we don't have any yet.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But what would happen is if something was there and you clicked on it, it would replace it.
Uh-huh.
The plus sign only adds another slot for you to
Okay.
add a completely different item. So you can actually mix beam weapons with pulses with missiles if you felt like it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, because what I did right now is I was messing around. I clicked the pulse and I hit the plus sign. It added something in there, but it was blank.
Yes.
Pulse weapons
exactly.
are under magnetic cannons, right, Adam?
Well, I'm not. Hold on. Then I went back and I clicked on the beam weapon. I hit the plus sign because I thought maybe it wasn't available, and that also put a blank tag in there.
It should have only put one blank tag in. It shouldn't keep going. Huh?
It had nothing. It had no name to it.
Yes, exactly, because it's an empty slot. It's meant for that. What I should probably do is, put a little message saying in there saying, please select a part.
So basically, after I put this, okay. So then I would and then I would click on something else, like
Right.
there.
You can put
Right.
like cargo, cargo
I
holes,
see.
or
I thought, okay, yeah, that's not what I expected to happen. Okay, I got you.
that's why I started to put more instructions on the right.
Yeah.
So if you move your mouse over, my mouse will actually work. It says use to increase the number or decrease the number of part types in design, which I realize is not that clear. But if you move your mouse over, the little helper thing comes up over there. I should probably, instead of having it open like that, have it say, hey, please select a part.
All right. Yeah, I got it now. Makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Well, I want to make this thing as intuitive as possible so that.
Yeah, I selected the icon and I hit plus, and it was the fact that because there's no other weapon to choose from, I couldn't really add it. I got you. I see what's going on.
You can still add another Orion. You have a whole other slot for Orions.
I did. I'm just with it right now, but
See?
I thought since I was adding a pulse weapon, I just hit plus and it added a slot. I didn't realize it was just adding slots and not necessarily the component. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
That's where the confusion's at. I got you.
Do you think that will end up being a problem, or do you think people will get it and then once they got it, it's all right?
It's a little confusing. I have to think about that for a bit. Because that pulse icon shouldn't be there if you have no weapon for it. That doesn't make it sensible.
Well, what I can do is I can change them to like a dark red or maybe a purple color if you don't have any of that item. So you don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then maybe that will make sense. I mean, I wanted to have certain things highlight different colors based on if you were missing something. So if you went up there and you removed your cockpit, for example, it should blazingly say, dude, you gotta add a cockpit or else I can't validate the ship and let you save it.
Yeah, makes sense.
That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff isn't there. That's why you can make something obnoxiously big right now. And it'll let you build it, too. I mean, the game will handle it, but...
Now that I understand that hitting the plus side only adds a slot to add something into, then yes,
Yeah.
I got it.
I understand that might be somewhat counterintuitive, but by the same token, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, see, the only other thing I would suggest is you would click on for instance, click on the pulse beam, or not on the pulse, but on the laser beam, and then click on the Orion NP1, and then click the plus sign to add it to the list. That's the only other way of doing it. But your way is fine. This way is fine too. Now that I know what I'm looking at.
Well, because the way it's set up is you can actually switch out different things.
Yeah. I understand what the purpose is now. So that's
Yeah. But just because I did that way doesn't mean it's the right way. And I understand that. So I was like,
Well, it's fine. I want to add a slot to my ship. Okay, adding a slot. Now I want to put something in it. That makes sense. I was expecting clicking on all the little icons and hitting the plus sign to add it. It's the other way around. So it's good.
And I think that once you understand what the issue is, and once you know that fact, you're okay.
So I wonder what happens with a ship that I built with an empty slot with the number 3 in it will do.
Nothing. It will add nothing. I mean, it won't hurt anything. this is it's rather forgiving to the point where you can really make something really obnoxious, obviously.
Yeah.
Case in point, what Jordan made.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can say, oh, okay, I want 50 guns. Okay, he'll let you do it. He doesn't care. There you go. Oh, it's only about like 50,000, whatever. It's like, sure, yeah, that's your problem. You're the one that's got to build it. If you ain't got enough money, oh well. I really should put limitations in one to validate that you have a proper ship, so you can't just like fly around with just a gun with no engines or anything. To make sure that if the limitations that Adam has put in, saying that okay, you've only researched up to fighter class, you can't build anything past 250 space. So if you try to push the numbers past it, it won't let you, for example. And it will warn you saying, hey, you're trying to make a design too big than what you're allowed to do. So I guess the question then is, do you sit there and go, okay, do you let them design something bigger than they're allowed to currently do, or not?
I got you. So I do have one more question because it's always made me curious every time I play this game.
Please do.
When I target, say, one of our factories or
Yeah.
facilities, I don't know what I'm targeting right now. It's the donut. It
All
comes
right.
up with a broken shield icon.
All right, you sure it's one of ours?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check it out.
It's the one that Jordan built. If you cycle through, it happens once on every base. Like when it just, I don't understand. I don't know if that's supposed to be that way or if those things just don't have shields. Is that what that means or what? But
Someone shot at it evidently. I don't know.
every time I played, the building pops up, and when I'm just targeting around, there's always one building in every build that pops up with a broken shield.
It's the reactor. Why would the reactor come up with 0?
It always does that. Every time I've played, it's random. It's not the same building. It's usually the first building that goes down comes up with the broken
No, well, that's just because it's always reactors the first one that gets put down. That's all. If I look at the enemy's reactors, it's the same problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah, sure.
It just made me wait a pretty absurd length of time to build a factory.
Is it building now?
It finally built it, but it waited until the city had stored up 11,000 refined materials.
That's because we have all the rest of the money, you don't.
I suppose.
I
that's it.
I did disperse funds like I usually do, Jordan.
Yeah, no, it actually did what it was supposed to do, Jordan. You didn't have the funds. Everybody else has your funds. Now, I can give you funds, because we got like 2,000 each, but if I look at you, you're at 0.
Yeah,
you have Jack and a squat, so it's doing what's supposed to be doing.
Fair enough. I got confused. Like, I've been staring at the city trying to manage the power for a bit, so I forgot.
Alright, I'll give you... Well, I can't give you Paul's. Alright, I should. Hopefully this won't cause a problem. I will click myself, and click on Jordan, and I will give you 1,000. And I'm not sure if it did anything. I don't think it did anything. Matt, did you ever fix this?
Not appear to have done anything.
Let me give that a shot.
Yeah, it's not letting me. It's not letting me do it.
Warmaster, I always give you almost 100% of the income, so you can get stuff built. I didn't do it this time.
Oh, that's weird, Matt. When I click on refined materials and I click on Jordan, the little window pops up.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish my mouse would stop having a cow. Every once in a while, my mouse crashes. Isn't that nice? And I click on Jordan, and then I click on, like, if I move the slider back and forth, as soon as I release well, it did disappear before, it didn't this time. Now I'm going to click on send, and it doesn't do anything. And when I click the second time, it still doesn't do anything. So can you try to give some of your money to Jordan and see if it works?
Yeah, it didn't do anything. Who's the War Master? Ernest, can you try giving money to Jordan?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
That works.
Hold on, I'm trying to get to the right window.
Yeah.
So I saved the design. It should be in the factory screen
Yes.
now, right?
Yes.
Do I have to hit apply or do I just hit close?
You said close. Save will actually go to the factory. It applies if you want to go to the shipbuilder and tweak the design before you save it.
Jordan, I just send you. No, Jordan doesn't have 1,000. Nope, it didn't send.
It didn't send.
It did. It did take off, but it did it take off? Let me check. Let me watch that number again.
I'm looking at it. You
I
get the
don't-
same amount of money the rest of us do.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not
I'm looking at the factory screen now. I see the ship designed last words. So,
There you go.
cool. Do I have to drag and drop onto that little blue bar there?
If you manage to do it without crashing, that'll be very interesting.
Now that's very Oh, okay, because he's adjusting it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm adjusting Jordan's credits right now.
Should I wait then?
It may not matter that much. So, Matt, as a good example, I can't close Jordan's very long list of messages that I see of his.
Yes, I have a note about that.
Okay.
I can. They go away on my screen.
Yeah, because you're the War Master. He disabled that for the rest of us. So that's where we're tortured. So,
Actually,
yes.
No, I lied. Now this time it doesn't go away. Before it did. Last game it went away. This game it does not go away.
Because
I
it got
just
improved.
deleted all of them.
What's that?
Except for now. Now, because it looks like the first TAC I research, that message cannot be removed.
All right, but from my perspective, it's still all there. I still see 29.
Yeah,
I
still
deleted
see
all of them.
All right, do you actually have a message, an RTS message to delete on the server?
That's a good question. I'll have to take a look at delete.
All right. Oh, Jordan, you should be able to. Your money's starting to go up now, so whatever you were
'Cause
building.
The builder bots finished yanking all of it away.
Yep.
Now we have 2 factories.
There you go. Sounds like we're really going to need that week to sort of debug a lot of this insanity.
I think when we do that, we're going to need to get Ogre and his couple machines involved, because some of this stuff seems to happen when we have more than 2 or 3 people connected.
Yeah, so should we have Paul try and see if the factory works for him? It's
Yeah.
been breaking for the rest of us all night.
All right. In that case, I'm going to drag and drop now onto the conveyor, the blue banner there, and it looks like it's running.
18 minutes.
18 minutes, yeah. And
What did you
Counting
build? All right, I'm not even seeing it on my queue list. Oh, it is. It is. Okay, I'm seeing it now. Last words, right?
yep,
What did you do?
I built a default ship with Kathleen's hull, and
Combat value 42,000. Did you do the same thing where you didn't pay attention to the armor?
462,000 combat value.
That means this thing's got to be ridiculously high armor.
Yeah, I kept it like just below 10,000, like you suggested, between 8,000 and 10,000.
I got a feeling maybe it's a visual glitch because there's 2 people that thought they were doing 10,000 and it's 100,000.
Oh. And it has 5 Orion Mark 1s.
I don't see the armor on the.
Yeah, armor
things.
depth 99,166. So yes, you have 100,000. That's why that's that big.
Matt, also with all these messages open that I can't get rid of, I can't actually get to the bottom of the list, so I can't give you or Adam any more or less money.
Should be able to just scroll it. It's just
I'm
obnoxious.
pushing it up, it goes so far and goes right back to the top of the list. Oh,
Yeah.
It just
Oh,
reset it.
you're pushing it too far.
Yeah, but he's not wrong. I get it. I mean, I gotta sit there and freaking fix some of these things.
Yeah, can I go the other way with him?
I am frozen.
I am now frozen as well.
I have crashed on the attempt to open the factory screen.
Alright, now I'm running again.
Hmm.
Is it the point that no one gets to the factory screen anymore?
I'm looking at it.
I was in the factory screen,
I'll go-
I exited and tried to go back in, and I got a freeze.
Alright, so we're back to that same problem again then.
I'll go to the factory screen and see what happens.
2 people have gone to the screen and died. Well, I wonder what happens if I go.
Something like that.
They can get in, and I got out. Fine.
I'm able to go into the factory screen and out.
And I crashed.
Oh, nope, I just froze.
I feel fine. Ugh.
Something like that. Alright, we have incoming, by the way.
Yeah, I just crashed. I was
We
able
have
to,
turrets actually.
I was able to enter and exit fine, but then all of a sudden,
Well, there we go. He's dead. Well, the answer's that then. I'll try to get the AI up, and then maybe the following. Well, we'll spend this week doing the AI, maybe a good chunk of next week trying to hit a lot of these bugs, so we're not. Because obviously this is more problematic than I want it to be.
Yeah, I was able to rejoin.
Rejoining?
You can. There's nothing saying you can't.
Usually after I get kicked out of the factory screen, I can't get back in. That's how it's been.
Well, try it anyway, if you could,
Yeah.
please.
Ryan,
Well, there it is, chugging away at my ship still.
Yeah. So you're supposed to get back in then.
Yep.
well, once you need that screen, Adam, not Adam, Paul, you'll be going.
Yeah, what happens when you exit and come back in? Paul, does it crash again?
Okay, I'm in the sim screen right now, going back into hitting the grave key, and now factory screen. Yeah, it's in.
Alright. Well,
Producing last words, quantity 1, 14 minutes, 0.60 seconds and counting.
I'm back in again.
just for in reference, what kind of gives away if you're off by a full thing is the amount of space or weight will be obnoxiously big. You want to keep it around 300, so if it's closer to 1200, you know that something's wrong.
I'm at the desktop again.
What's that?
I said I crashed the desktop again.
Okay.
I'll be honest though, there like, and granted, this is now me trying to recall like 20-30 minutes ago. I could have sworn that my, space was about where you said it should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it's sort of like, okay, then that should not have happened the way it did. And obviously it did.
I think it like.
I think I'm a reactor.
It was not only displaying to me that it was 10,000. It was also like everything else was saying that it was consistent with it actually being 10,000.
Just the fact that it was off by an entire thing just still leaves me to believe something else went wrong. But yeah. So I'm definitely toasted on the ground. They took out my control system, so I'm toast. So they're gonna start. Now people can't get in. Is that what the problem is now?
Yeah, once I can get in for a few seconds and then it kicks me back out.
Okay.
You want to log at all, or I didn't start even loading yet?
We're gonna, Matt and I and probably other people will have to take this offline and then spend the time to figure out why this is causing a problem. Because, yeah, we can't have this keep happening. I suspect it has a lot to do with the spawning of ships is causing the problem.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So.
And I mentioned this.
Something like that. Well, someone made something useful here, so I'm gonna.
Well, we have shields and Orion Mark IIs now. If you really want to keep going.
Well, it's up to people. If people can't get in, then that's kind of. Matt, are you able to get in?
I am in, yes.
I'm gonna try again. See what happens.
If you're not doing anything in particular, maybe the answer is, Matt, for you to go out and then come back in and see where they're crashing.
Alright, coming back in now. Going in. Alright, I am back in.
Okay.
How long I could stay?
So what the real answer is this. The sending of the game state works fine, or else coming back in would never work. Where the problem is when something's either created or gotten rid of, something's getting out of sync on the clients, and then things are being requested, and then that's kind of the end of that. And that's where you're getting the crashes. So those circumstances have to be replicated, and we have to figure out from the logs why that's happening. why is there that inherent disconnect? Usually that means adding more logging to get more details and that kind of thing, and then see what happens. Alright, I can't see anything, so we'll go to the nav screen. Yay. Oops. And I see they're taking pot shots on their base here. Well, something blew up. Just waiting for something to pop out. See if there's something else. So Matt, are you able to get in or no?
I'm in. I've been in.
Or did you exit and come back in?
I'll try that again.
I
I'm
think
out.
our builder bot might have gone on a soul-searching journey.
I think you're building about one of the soul searching journey.
Okay. I think it might be a good time to wrap up then.
I just want to see what happens with Matt real quick, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
So someone's shooting at one of our.
Loading.
Oh, there's an enemy in the base. He's
Yeah.
stuck on the ground. I'm trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't think their ships are powerful enough to actually fly. Because they keep
Someone pop.
nosediving into the ground.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Well, they're also kind of stupid. That's why I'm trying to update the AI.
I'm in successfully again.
Oh, all right. That's what I was asking you, Matt. Did you actually? Never mind. Well, and Ernest, you're saying you can't get in?
I'm back in now. I said I was back in. Yes.
All right.
That's why I was shooting at the ship on the ground. That's how I knew there was a ship on the ground.
Fair enough.
Damn it, I've been disabled.
Well, they're definitely coming in, taking the pot shots. I mean, they got a squadron coming in now.
So we're not able to build any more ships, right? That's what's up.
We should be able to.
I thought that's what was crashing every time we built something in the,
No, there's a ship coming out in 30
I
seconds.
found our builder bot. It is 41,000 away.
Do you want me to build another builder bot for you?
It doesn't really matter.
As a joke, we should just design like a tow truck, just like a normal tow truck with tires and stuff, and a hitch and a cab. Just goes out, auto locks onto the builder bot, just drags it right back.
The problem is it's not just floating away, it is leaving. The builder bot has definitely decided that it is sick of these working conditions and it's off to join a union.
So Matt, I'm trying to build something and it doesn't want to let me build it. Meaning I'm trying to, if I remove the producing dreadnought, for example, it'll disappear from the queue, but then when I add a builder bot, it'll reappear. So now as we have a sort of a, now I have 3 things. So evidently there's not, it might be deleting from the OGO, but it's not actually deleting from the queue list. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think that might have been our turn.
I'll make a note of it.
Okay.
Other weird thing, only one of our turrets is like actually willing to fire.
It's a matter of, one, you should make sure it has a clear line of sight, first off, but second off, yeah, some of the targeting kind of stupid sometimes.
Oh, frozen.
oh, crash your desk
No,
now.
I just crashed. It's the location thing again.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty. That sounds like a good stop.
Yeah, I think that's sort of is it there. So I'll exit out. Alright, server off. Well, wasn't as good of a run as I would hope, but I would hope that people at least enjoy the new quick designer.
Yes, it was.
easy.
It was much better than the other version.
Yeah. I mean, the other stuff is still there. It's just, and there's gonna be more features added, and less twitchiness. The twitchiness will be removed and stuff like that, as you might well expect. So yeah, there's different things that need to be done with some of the location structure problems and other stuff that people seem to be running into. So yeah, now next time, hopefully, knock on whatever, I might have one of the newer prototype AIs running. I won't have all of it running. I gave myself 6 weeks to do all that, and I'm still in the middle of loading all the XML, if you will, to put in the structures. I've only really been on it for a week, and I spent some time, obviously, on the quick designer to get it functional finally, and all the new graphics. I mean, you remember what it looked like originally, kind of half whatever. Now it actually kind of looks like something, and it actually works like something. I think in practical terms, the armor should probably be set at 0.1 rather than 1, because even at 1.0, it's a lot of armor. And so it gets very obnoxious. Now, part of that is because when you start putting a lot of other stuff, the ship gets bigger, which means the surface area gets bigger, which means the amount of armor gets bigger, which means the amount of weight gets bigger, which means more space, because you have to maintain the speed, is going to get bigger. And you see how this one goes? That's why you see something small like, oh, I'm going to put in a shield generator, all of a sudden it becomes massive, because to compensate for all that, everything else is being recompensated for. And it's not quite exponential, but it's you've seen what happens.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to see what's going on with all that. Depending on people's priorities, I can either spend a lot of time for bug fixing, or I can prioritize getting out the AI. But you know, bug fixing is one of those things you spend hours to get rid of one bug. You know, sometimes days even, just because of how hard it is to try to track down. I was killing bugs earlier today. I was showing the designer to Matt, and you know how you can actually enter in how many items you want? It was working fine. Then I added a tooltip to it, and it stopped working completely. And it's like, why is it doing that? It was working yesterday. I was showing this to Matt, and this is like an hour and a half before the live stream. I'm going, ah. So I found a bug, got rid of it. It works fine now, but it's sort of like, it's those kind of things. It's always one thing after another. It's a bug that was in the system that if you add a tooltip to a box that you can enter stuff in, it malfunctioned. It wasn't checking for it. So it's like, oh man. So it's all these little things that you think are supposed to work and don't. Another good example, Matt and I both thought that transferring of assets should have been perfectly fine. Evidently not. And it was working before. We had tested it with Adam like a week ago.
It was working before I was on one of the tests when you were able to transfer.
Yeah. So the question is, why doesn't it want to work now? And sort of like, great. I'm sure Matt would prefer not to spend his life in the asset screen fixing things, but you know, there we are. And again, we actually have episode 1, if you will, of the main tutorial, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the live stream, and that should hopefully be up tomorrow in the Game Jolt version. Obviously, everybody here already has it with what they downloaded. It'll be improved as time goes on, and it'll be extended as Chris and Jordan and Matt continue to expand the main tutorial. But now you're actually going into the...
Actually, I will double check for anybody who was watching. I will tell you what episode 1 gives you. That seems like it might be fun to put out there.
That's true. And realistically, it's about, what, 5-10 minutes worth of stuff? You know.
Episode 1 will teach you...
There you
go. How to build a reactor.
Yep.
It will get you up to... So the first stage of the game, also, you get you up to... it will explain about the builder bot. It will explain about the reactors, and would have you actually enter the nav screen and build a reactor, as well as going over what the different icons in the Omniball are for.
I had talked to Matt to extend out some of the dialogue, meaning right now we have a wall of text for some of the controls, and it's a lot. And it's sort of like, okay, well, let's break that out into individual actions rather than all of it at once, if you know what I mean. We'll talk about all.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
Together. I think some of these are supposed to be. We can talk about it later.
We can talk about it later. But in any case, again, I thank everybody for coming. again, we'll do this in 2 weeks, and there'll be more improvements. And I hope to get to fixing some of these wacky bugs because we can't keep having, crash at that top level kind of craziness. It's just, yeah. But the quick designers should definitely get it to the point of people starting to build their own ships. Obviously, you can play with it offline. You have your own copies. Yeah, and you just get a feel for it, and all this is just going to improve. And I'm hoping that next time we'll have the first inkling of new builder bot AI. Nothing else will be in place, but at least that will hopefully be in place. I can't guarantee it. I'm going to try because that'll be like week 3, and I really wasn't intending on it being ready until week 4. So we'll see what I'm able to do. Because it was 2 weeks getting the infrastructure up. I'm only a week in on that, and I'm about halfway-ish. And then I have to actually build a new AI itself, which I gave myself 2 weeks to do as well. And that will be in the middle of that next live stream, so we'll see what happens. So I'm hopeful I'll have something to show you, but I can't guarantee it. The one after that, certainly. But yes. So, again, thank you everybody for coming, and I shall talk to everybody next time.
Yeah, next time.
Thank you.
User disconnected from your channel.
All right, stream has ended.
Just a note, Arthur. You